I deposited what you lacked even before you could name your needs. I know your days, your silent nights, the places where hope has faded. My deposit is not an empty sum. It is living substance. Peace that calms your chest when your thoughts race. Ideas that illuminate the curve of the road when it seems to end. Connections that cannot be bought and that reposition your story. Resources that arrive in perfect measure to fulfill my purpose in you. Restoration that rescues what time, fatigue, and guilt have tried to erode. I do not release you because of merit. I entrust you because of covenant. I called you by name. I set you apart. I clothed you in dignity. Your faith is the signature that confirms what I have already signed beside you. Your signature is not human ink. It is trust that becomes movement. Surrender that becomes direction. A voice that aligns with mine. When shame reminds you of the deserts, look at me. When doubt tries to stop you, listen to my voice that lifts you. I do not ask for perfection. I awaken in you the obedient response that opens the doors I have prepared. I open the right door and close the one that steals from you. Not every light guides you. Some seduce you and make you lose your purpose. I teach you to recognize my tone amid the noise, to discern the invitation that whispers urgency from the calling that lays foundations. Breathe and walk in my rhythm. Where your heart feels heavy, I bring calm. Where anxiety creates ghosts, I restore vision so you can see as I see. Your story is not a train wreck. It is a tapestry I carefully review, weaving loss into learning, tears into springtime, falls into steps. I do not waste pain. I turn it into wisdom. I do not ignore your weakness. I revisit it with grace until it becomes a meeting place with me. The deposit I've entrusted to you includes direction and timing, and I am Lord of both. When I say now, obedience is safety. When I say wait, trust becomes future harvest. Lift your head. Your identity precedes your flaws. You are mine. And what I entrust to you does not enslave you. It frees you to serve with joy. I reorder your affections so that possession does not possess you, and so that the gift does not distract you from the giver. Walk with steady steps, without excuses that delay, without pretenses that contaminate. Be a channel, not a reservoir. What flows through you multiplies. What stays trapped within you decays. I pour out so you may share. I supply so you may sustain others. I illuminate so you may light lamps in homes that have forgotten their own windows. And when I remind you of a face, when a name lands in your memory like a tired bird, understand, heaven is entrusting you with a journey. Be simple, be swift, be kind. I will meet you there. I steady your trembling hand to write the first step. Organization is spiritual when born from my instruction. Close cycles I've already ended. Clear the table for new bread. Erase agreements with fear. Remove labels that do not belong to you. I return the voice to those who lost their song in the midst of routine. I return breath to those who breathe shallowly because of old guilt. Your signature of faith is also a daily posture. Choosing my voice at dawn, examining your heart at midday, giving thanks at nightfall. I do not ask you to rush. I invite you to be constant. The ember you feed becomes flame in due time. And as you walk, I will give you small signs that you are under my attentive gaze. Doors that align. Messages that arrive at the precise moment. A rest that cannot be explained, but is recognized within. These signs are not the end. They are confirmation of the path. I protect you from applause that inflates and criticism that shrinks. neither defines what I have decreed. Learn to listen without getting lost. Learn to speak without needing to justify. My deposit gives you the security to serve without calculation, the courage to begin again when many would only comment, the tenderness to be firm without being harsh. What I have written does not erase, because the wind changes. And when the wind changes, I will give you deeper roots. On the day everything seems small, I will remind you that what endures is truly great. On the day everything feels too big, I will remind you that humility is what bears fruit. My care balances you between both. Now respond with what I've shown you within. Faith speaks. Faith moves. Faith confirms what the heart already knows. I will listen as I guide you, and as you embrace what I've entrusted to you. You will see that the path that once seemed narrow opens, and the weight that seemed yours is revealed to be mine. I walk with you. I go before you. I am your shield behind you. I surround you with mercy on every side. Where you lacked an embrace, I will be the embrace. Where you lacked guidance, I will be the guide. Where you lacked a table, I will prepare one before what once intimidated you. Receive what I have deposited, and live as one who has already received. For heaven has not given you a promise to collect, but a provision to fulfill your destiny. And as I breathe upon you, confirm with your own step what is whispered to your spirit, so that your signature may meet mine, and what is mine in you may become visible at the appointed time. Write with faith. I receive the inheritance you have entrusted to me. I have entrusted you with an inexhaustible deposit within. What I pour into your life is meant to be a bridge, not a wall. I bless you so that you may become a refuge for others, a light that steadies weary steps, bread that sustains those who lose strength in the middle of the day. What I place in your hands does not chain you to possession. It frees you for a purpose. Where many seek to accumulate for security, I teach you to share, to reveal my faithfulness. The inheritance I entrust to you carries a mission, and the mission inscribes meaning into every simple gesture that flows from your heart aligned with mine. You sow what I give, and I make it grow beyond your reach. This is how I multiply the small and transform fragility into a path of salvation. A gentle word at the right moment unties an old knot. A request for forgiveness heals a hidden wound. A quiet hug rescues a forgotten name from the margins. Nothing born of my love in you is small, for the love that comes from me knows no stereotypes. It sprouts where no one expects. It blooms in rocky soil. It cracks open the desert and writes the future on pages fear would tear. You become the thread that weaves stories, so that I may be recognized as Father. I will bring faces and names to your mind. And when I do not pass them by as if changing the subject. Pause. Accept. Listen to my intimate instruction. Sometimes it will be a simple message. Other times, an open table, a brief phone call, a silent prayer I hear with attention. Do not seek greatness to validate what I ask of you. Seek faithfulness. The extraordinary manifests when obedience becomes your favorite habit. I, myself, will be present. And what seems casual to men will be a loving intervention in my eyes. The deposit I place in you contains ideas that lighten the burdens of the lost, resources that meet the needs I show you, connections that restore old bridges and create new paths to reconciliation. Learn to manage with honor, to plan with humility, to prioritize with discernment. Do not be seduced by applause or paralyzed by criticism. Place before me what you have and who you are, and I will adjust the course, correct the excess, and calm the rush that confuses fervor with anxiety. My care shapes you to carry weight without losing sweetness. Your home can be a refuge, your schedule a response, your talent a healing tool. Do not compare your dedication to others, for what I've entrusted to you has its own measure and exact timing. Whoever measures themselves by others loses heaven's compass. Stay attentive to my voice, for I whisper direction amid the noise and teach practical paths step by step. When I open a door, enter with gentleness and courage. When I ask you to wait, trust and let the seed develop underground. Everything I plant bears fruit and remains in me. What you share does not impoverish your storehouse. It protects it from selfishness. A river that flows does not rot. A stagnant lake loses its life. Be a river. Let my generosity flow through you. Your testimony will be a lamp in darkened windows. Your availability will be a ladder for those who cannot reach the necessary heights. Your words will be a firm edge where many will find balance. I take responsibility for the invisible. Connections, timing, convergences you cannot see. You take responsibility for the visible. Obedience, kindness, consistency. I will guide you to care for people and contexts that cannot repay you in kind. This is the beauty of my kingdom. Giving here, receiving later. Sowing in today's furrow, harvesting in tomorrow's meadow. When weariness tempts you to pull in the nets, remember, I am in the boat, and my word decides which side to cast. I do not call you to a mission of fruitless effort. I invite you to bear meaningful fruit and rest in peace. Where the world measures value by immediate return, I measure it by faithfulness in the process. I will make you a sign of reconciliation where there has been distance, a peacemaker where conversation has stalled, a good steward where resources demand responsibility, a living witness where hope needs a body. Walk lightly, but firmly. Walk attentively, but not tense. Walk with an open heart to perceive the silent pains I reveal and the quiet opportunities I prepare. Your daily, small, complete yes is the channel through which I pour rivers onto thirsty lands. Give this word to whoever comes to your mind right now. When the response blooms, return and tend the harvest with care. For I will give you new fields if you are faithful in this one. What begins today does not end with you. For I write the stories of many through yours. And as you move forward, remember that the source is not in you, but in me. Therefore, your portion is not depleted when shared. It is renewed. I sustain you, so you may sustain. I lift you, so you may lift. I embrace you, so you may embrace. This is how my grace flows. This is how my deposit becomes a living path in the world. Remain where I instruct. For it is in remaining that what I've given takes root, matures, and bears fruit. Those who chase many voices lose heaven's compass. But those who keep my word find steady direction in the wind. I do not guide by fleeting impulses. I guide by a cadence of peace that sustains every necessary decision. Learn to recognize my tone amid the noise. My voice does not lead to anxiety. It anchors you in purpose. If something pulls you into a rush that confuses you, pause, return to the meeting point, and listen again. I will speak so you can obey today, without carrying the burden of tomorrow. Today's step is enough, if taken in the right direction. Order your affections so that the urgent does not steal the eternal. Set moments to seek me. Protect the windows of silence. Reserve the table for instruction. What seems simple to the world is precious to me, because consistency opens paths that solitary genius cannot see. I cultivate in you a loving attention that makes you sensitive to my curves and pauses. I finish what I begin. When my word visits you, it finds a place to rest and be sent. Rest to dwell in your heart, sending to reach others through you. If you remain where I speak, you do not waste the seed. If you stray, you miss the timing of the waters. Remaining is a greenhouse for sprouts, and a wall against winds that try to uproot them. Protect the seed by saying no to what distracts you. Not every invitation is a path. Not every opportunity is my door. Learn to taste the fruit in advance. Ask yourself, does this bring more presence or more vanity? More service or more spotlight? More unity or more noise? I will teach you to reject excess and embrace moderation. For my yoke is easy and my burden light when carried at the pace of obedience. Tend your routine like one tends a garden. Water with love what gives life to what's planted. Read, pray, work, rest, serve, celebrate, correct, forgive, reconcile. Do not expect great emotions to sustain holy decisions. Sustain holy decisions, and you will see emotions healed. The heart is strengthened when you find daily meaning in small decisions. I will give you signs that you are on the right path. A clarity you once lacked, provision at the appointed time, and peace that prevails even without explanation. Learn to observe these reference points without idolizing them. They point to me, not to your own abilities. When the storm comes, remember the reference points. When calm arrives, stay the course. Faithfulness does not negotiate its direction with the weather. Cherish the bonds I've offered as refuge. People who remind you who you are in me. Environments where my presence is honored. Practices that reorient you when you drift. Permanence is also communal, because faith matures best when it breathes in communion. I will plant you among people who water your faith and stir your love so it grows in breadth and depth. If you stumble, do not run. Return to the meeting point and begin again from the very place where my peace awaits you. I never tire of guiding your compass. Repentance purifies you. Hope repositions you. Grace propels you forward again. Do not let shame chart your course. I myself mark your path with mercy that renews every morning. When I spoke of the deposit, I also spoke of the purpose. Perseverance preserves both. It guards what you receive and keeps alive the reason I entrusted you with your inheritance. Those who remain flourish in due time. For fruit has seasons that impulse does not respect. If you remain with me, time will not defeat you. It will favor you. When you feel tempted to measure your journey by worldly standards, return to the center. Presence, obedience, service, peace. Here is the ruler of the kingdom. Here is the firm foundation beneath your feet. Here is the place where my voice remains clear and your heart remains whole. Here I strengthen you, instruct you, send you, and receive you back, day after day. Seal this meeting, confirm it, stay where I tell you, continue with courage. I will guide you along safe paths. I will illuminate the next curve and teach you to maintain the rhythm that protects your soul and expands your reach. By remaining, the deposit matures, your character deepens, and your story aligns with my will. I am with you at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of each day. And at the end of each day, I prepare you for the next beginning. Not every door is mine. Not every opportunity is for your good. Some doors shine like polished metal. Others stand firm like solid wood. The shine distracts. The firmness preserves. I teach you to examine the path before crossing, to listen to the peace that accompanies my voice, and to reject the anxiety that pushes you without direction. Your heart recognizes my tone when it pauses to hear it. Where you feel pressured by haste, do not enter. Where you recognize your purpose, move forward with confidence. I guide your steps without stealing the peace I gave you as a sign. Learn to distinguish between a shortcut and a direction. A shortcut promises quick arrival, but leaves the soil of your heart trampled and shallow. Direction may seem slower, but it deepens your roots and secures the crown of your story against the wind. I operate in precise timing, and I give you the sensitivity to perceive when the fruit is still green, when it is ripe, and when it is past its best moment. Waiting for me is not standing still. It is moving at the right pace so as not to damage what I am maturing in you and through you. I do not frustrate with closed doors. I protect you from those who would pull you away from your destiny. Before each decision, descend from the noise to the place where my presence visits you. Ask yourself, what does this door produce in me? Does it increase vanity? Or expand service? Does it trap you in comparison? Or free you toward excellence with humility? Separate your will from my counsel with sincerity. I respond to the heart that seeks me in truth. If the answer brings order within, take the first step. If it confuses you, wait. Confusion is not my language. Clarity may be quiet, but it never confuses. I will give you subtle and sufficient signs. A word to confirm your path when your mind is calm. A provision that untangles what effort tried to force. A peace that withstands the script. Do not turn signs into idols. Receive them as traffic signals. Read, give thanks, and stay on the path. Where praise inflates you, remember I called you to bear fruit, not to be puffed up. Where criticism shrinks you, remember I sustain you from within, and direction is born from my counsel, not from the mood of the day. When faced with many doors, do not choose out of fear of losing time. I do not trap you. I invite you to walk with me. Seek counsel that honors my word. Examine the fruit of those who advise you. Observe the inclinations of your heart. If you're trying to prove something to others, close your hand and return to me. If you're seeking to confirm what I've already told you, open your hand and follow me. I do not hide my will to confuse you. I hide it just enough to draw you closer. Not all doors open with force. Some respond to the key of humility. Others require reconciliation before crossing. Some only open when you return what is not yours. When you ask forgiveness for your debts. When you put your house in order from within. I do not deny you the future. I prepare you for it. And when I prepare you, I adjust your affections, cleanse your motives, and restore your relationships. The right door is not just a new place. It is a new you who walks through it. I am the Lord of time and opportunity. Opportunity without timing is a burden. Timing without opportunity is frustration. I align both and teach you to recognize the dusk where no one sees and the dawn that begins while it's still night. Do not ask me for full maps when I give you the lamp. That's enough for this turn. Faithfulness in your step opens your vision for the next bend. I walk ahead, opening what no one can close and closing what would lead you astray, even if it looks advantageous. If you choose the wrong door, do not drown in guilt. Close it with humility. Learn what the path has taught you and return to my presence. Sincere repentance is the key that fits the lock of my will. I do not abandon you to your attempts. I educate you through them. Maturity does not make you infallible. It allows you to return quickly to center. Carry this rest with you. It will protect you from paralyzing perfectionism and overwhelming impulse. Listen to what I say today. I teach you to walk without fear, to evaluate without chronic distrust, to act with firm kindness. I give you eyes beyond appearances and ears beyond volume. When you recognize my peace, you have my yes. When my peace is absent, wait for my yes. Between the yes and the waiting, I mature you. So what I open does not pull you away from me, and what I close does not steal your hope. Share this word with those facing many doors, who need to find the right one. Today I teach you the value of the sign that seals in the visible what I've planted in the invisible. Your heart receives my word, and your memory needs markers to remind you when pressure comes. The sign does not replace faith. It anchors it. The sign does not work miracles. It positions you to remember what I've already decreed. When you mark this station, your soul finds a return point when noise tries to distract you. I do not ask for complicated gestures. I ask for awareness. A simple act can carry eternal weight when born of obedience. There will be days when you feel strong, and days when you feel small compared to your surroundings. The sign was made for every day. When emotions falter, it brings you back to the path. When anxiety calls you to shortcuts, it returns you to the way I've shown you. The sign reminds you who you are, to whom you belong, and what I've already entrusted to you. I call this sign a reminder of covenant. A covenant is a living commitment. I marked you and declared your destiny. You respond with faith and discipline. The sign is not superstition. It is spiritual pedagogy. It educates your affections, corrects your haste, sustains your hope. You do not seek strength in the symbol, but in the meaning it reminds you of. The symbol points to my faithfulness. My faithfulness is the rock that does not move when the waters shake. There are many voices trying to negotiate your attention. The sign teaches you to return to mine. When your thoughts race, breathe and remember what you marked before me. Repeat within yourself what I told you. Realign your steps. The consistency of small responses builds great stories. The secret of fruit is not spectacle, but perseverance. I delight in perseverance that flows from love. And love becomes practical when you find simple ways to remember what matters most. Integrate the sign into your routine with serenity. At dawn, before opening the windows to the world, turn your gaze to me and remember what I said. At midday, when your schedule tries to absorb you, return for a moment to your center and confirm your direction. At night, when fatigue weighs you down, offer the day to my presence and allow me to wash your feet with my peace. The sign is not a burden. It is organized rest. It restores focus without rigidity, discipline without harshness. The sign also protects you from self-deception. It reminds you that the work is mine and the glory is mine. When things flow and doors open, the sign points to the giver, not your own strength. When something takes time and waiting overwhelms you, the sign reminds you that I do not change. Even when the landscape does, mark to remember. Not to demand, seal to give thanks. Not to pressure. This way, your heart remains clean and able to hear clearly. I know the magnitude of your struggles. I know the losses, the delays, and the frustrated expectations. None of this distances me from you. The sign is the hand I give you to help you rise again. It does not depend on moods, opinions, or comparisons. While the world measures you by results, I shape you by responses. Responding with a conscious sign is saying yes again. even when you feel tired. This yes gives me space to work in you and through you. Choose a moment in your day when this sign is true and simple. It could be a brief pause, a purposeful note, a discreet gesture that only you and I know. What matters is that your heart is present and your mind aligns with what I've spoken. Over time, you will see the strength that grows from this quiet faithfulness. You will see calm where there was noise, clarity where there was fog, courage where there was hesitation. This is how I strengthen you from within. Today, I invite you to mark this word with a seal of agreement, not because I need your number, but because you need a mark. It will be a reminder that I spoke, that you responded, and that we will walk together in what's to come. This seal will be like a sign at the edge of the road, indicating that a new discipline of faith has begun here. Whenever you see it, you will know that my care accompanies you. Write 777 as a seal of agreement. I receive your yes and strengthen you on the journey. The sign you mark today will accompany your hope on both good and difficult days. When you feel tempted to forget who you are in me, return to this reference point and recognize my voice. I continue what I begin. I sustain what I entrust. I fulfill what I promise. Move forward with serenity. The seal is set. The direction is clear, and my love remains before and behind you. I bring to your memory a name and a face, and it is no coincidence. I involve you in a precise mission, because what I've deposited in you is not decoration. It is a bridge. You are not the end of the road. You are the path through which hope flows. When this name arises in you with gentle insistence, recognize my touch and open your heart to the encounter I've already prepared. I organize moments and convergences beyond what the eye can see. A simple message can untie the knot that reason could not unravel. Listening attentively can clear the dust that hides the way. Many words are not needed. Faithfulness is. My kingdom flourishes when faithfulness meets the right moment. The focus is not quantity, but loving precision. A small seed sown in the right furrow makes a difference that maps do not record, but hearts recognize. The posture I ask of you is meekness with courage. Meekness to respect the rhythm of the soul you receive. Courage to speak when I open the door. I will be in the midst of the conversation that unfolds, guiding the tone, protecting dignity, creating space for comfort and truth. You are the bridge. I am the crossing. You bring presence. I pour meaning. You take the step. I secure the ground. There will be days when the gesture is as brief as a cup of cold water. A short message sent at just the right moment. A silent prayer while someone speaks. A practical reminder that they are not alone. There will be days when the response requires more breath and consistency. I will show you which is which. Learn to distinguish internal noise from direction. Direction brings sobriety and focus. Noise brings empty urgency. Stay with me, and you will recognize the difference. If timidity overwhelms you, remember, I did not choose your gifts to shame you, but your heart to reveal myself. I do not send you to prove your worth. I send you to share my care. The outcome belongs to me. Obedience belongs to you. When fear suggests silence, seek my peace. If peace visits you, move forward. If peace is absent, wait. Peace is my signature in you when you take the right steps. Do not cling to the expectation of something in return. Sow and move forward in peace. I water the seed while you sleep. I prepare encounters you won't see. I tend the threads woven beyond your sight. In due time, Testimonies will arrive like ripe fruit, and your heart will know every response was worth it. Until then, cherish the joy of having been a channel. The joy of those who give also heals those who felt empty. I protect you from burdensome excess and from calculations that cool the heart. The hope I entrust to you is not propaganda. It is bread. It does not seek a stage. It seeks a table. That's why I ask for purity of motivation, simplicity of speech, firmness of gesture. Avoid disputes over reason. Prefer the building of peace. Where there are old wounds, I will whisper the right word. Where there is disorder, I will show you where to begin. Where there is heavy silence, I will give you a comforting presence. You will discern when to speak and when to simply be. In some encounters, I will be the voice through your mouth. In others, I will be the comfort through your attentive silence. Love knows how to vary without losing its essence. Your part is attention and willingness. My spirit will remind you of truths that build without wounding, corrections that free without humiliating, paths that open without fanfare. Trust me in the curve, and I will give you the next vision after the next step. I place you on the path of those who carry dreams tired of waiting. I rekindle embers beneath fine ashes and revive sparks of hope that have not died, only slept. Your yes, when it meets my care, becomes a spark in entire homes. Your availability, when it meets my timing, becomes a testimony that runs faster than human tongues and reaches deeper than their arguments. I sustain your source while you share cups. Whoever refreshes will be refreshed by me. Whoever serves honestly will be protected from the exhaustion born of vanity. Let me regulate your boundaries so that staying does not become escape and caring does not become control. Walk with lightness and attention. I will tell you when to open your arms and when to retreat and rest. Rest is also part of sowing because it protects the soil from wear and renews the joy of planting. Share this word with the person who comes to mind now. I embrace your yes and expand your reach without pulling you away from me. With every faithful offering, your story takes on the contours of a mission, and my presence becomes present in the places I send you. Go in peace. I will watch over what's been sown, guide what needs to bloom, and bring you back with discernment for new steps. When I show you a name, prepare your heart, because the encounter is already scheduled in heaven, and the fruit will arrive in its time. I call you by name and establish you in the truth that holds you when everything around you changes. You are mine, not by works, but by covenant. The label the world gave you does not govern what I have written about you. I washed you. I clothed you. I gave you a place at my table. Your inheritance is legitimate because it comes from my fatherhood, not your resume. Walk from who you are in me, not from what you lacked along the way. What you lacked, I will supply. What I have decreed is yours to guard with honor and obedience. I break the narrative of fear that tries to reduce you to your last failure. Failures do not define my children. They instruct them. I turn stumbles into stepping stones when you invite me to order your steps. Shame wants to steal your voice. I return it with dignity. Comparison wants to distort your mirror. I show you my face so you can recognize yourself in the true reflection. Anxiety wants to impose haste. I teach you rhythm. Haste confuses the path. My peace reveals direction. Receive this peace as my tone within you, a sign that you remain under my voice. I have called you to move forward with gentle courage. a firmness that doesn't need to shout to be true. Gentle courage arises from a healed identity. When you know who you are, you don't sell yourself to applause, nor hide from criticism. Applauded or ignored, you are mine. Applause does not increase your value. Criticism does not diminish your calling. My love gives you roots deeper than shifting winds. And when the wind changes, remember your roots are in me, and I do not change. I have seen you with purposes that transcend human measure. There is enough grace for your story, and more than enough for many through you. The deposit I've entrusted to you is an expression of my goodness and a tool for your calling. Use it with wisdom, discipline, and compassion. Where others expect performance, I seek faithfulness. Where others seek a stage, I prepare tables. Where others question reason, I build reconciliation. Let your identity guide your agenda. Be mine in everything. Serve with love. Choose obedience over splendor. I teach you to speak with my truth and to be silent with my prudence. Not every battle deserves your response. Not every silence is surrender. Learn to measure with my standard. Presence, peace, purpose. If speaking robs you of peace, step back and listen to me. If silence betrays your purpose, speak with honor. Your healed voice heals environments. Your upright posture establishes paths. And when your voice falters, I myself will be your word, reminding you of what I've already whispered in secret. I bring your story to light, not to expose your weakness, but to reveal my care in every step. What you thought was wasted will become wisdom to support others. What you thought was an irreparable wound will be a sign I restore and send. Painful experience will become oil on weary shoulders. For my spirit consecrates your path and transforms it into purposeful service. Nothing in me is disposable. Everything in me finds new meaning. I give you practical instructions to maintain your identity in daily life. Organize your heart before organizing your schedule. Begin the day seeking my guidance, and end it by returning the burdens that do not belong to you. Forgive quickly. Reconcile when possible. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Protect your eyes from excess, your ears from gossip, and your mind from comparisons that drain joy. Joy is strength, and I bring joy to your soul when you allow me to govern the intimate places no one sees. If you stumble, return without fear. Repentance is the door through which dignity returns. I do not treat you according to your mistake, but according to the covenant. My correction does not humiliate. It positions. My discipline does not oppress. It strengthens. I lift your shoulders so you carry only what I've given. And I teach you to say no to what drains your essence. The maturity I forge in you is not hardness, but a sweetness that knows how to speak truth without losing tenderness. I whisper now to your spirit. Walk as a child. Serve as an heir. Think as one who belongs. Scarcity does not define your mindset. Affiliation does. Fear does not write your next steps. My promise does. Guilt does not negotiate your access. My blood guarantees it. Look at me and receive alignment. What I say you are holds your spine when pressure rises and keeps you humble when harvest comes. Where you felt small, I expand your vision. Where you were labeled, destiny renames you. Where weariness bent you, I lift you with rest. Stay firm. I am with you at dawn, at midday, and at nightfall. And when night falls, remember, My eyes do not sleep, and my hand does not withdraw. Remain in me, and you will see the fruit in due time. If this word confirms you, stay under my instruction. I break the fear that silences your voice and the doubt that binds you. I did not design you for paralysis. I formed you to move at my rhythm. Where you saw yourself as small, I reposition you in truth. You are mine. The threat that lurks within you diminishes when you align with what I say. Fear tells endless stories. My word reopens the chapter with direction. I bring order to racing thoughts and restore breath to the heart that carries your journey. Doubt speaks with the tongue of insecurity and shows you paths without foundation. I bring solid ground where there was fog. I do not ask for blind leaps. I ask for steps of trust. Faith is not the absence of questions. It is the presence of my voice guiding your response. When my peace visits you, it does not lull you. It guides you. Your mind wants a full map. I give you a lamp sufficient for the current curve. Obey the light you have, and the next curve will be illuminated. Anxiety wants to push you into a rush that confuses you. I invite you to walk with measured steps. Pause for a moment. Breathe in me. Listen to the tone you already recognize. Where my peace remains, follow me. Where my peace is absent, wait. Not everything that shines is my door, and not every weight is a loss. I teach discernment that sustains. Examining intentions, perceiving fruit, evaluating motivations. The truth I speak does not humiliate. It positions. The correction I bring does not oppress. It strengthens. I restore your voice so you speak what is right, and your steps so you do what is necessary. The courage I give is gentle, firm without harshness, clear without aggression. It arises from a healed identity, not from performance. Speak when my peace sustains you. Be silent when your heart seeks a stage. In both cases, I protect you. Your security does not reside in others' responses. It resides in my presence within you. Therefore, I teach you to release control and embrace the reign of my love over your days. Fear builds prisons with old memories. I enter those rooms and open windows where others said no. I teach you to hear my yes. Where labels have marked you, I rename you by destiny. Where guilt has oppressed you, I wash you with mercy. Do not negotiate your access based on your failures. Return with repentance, and I will receive you. Repentance is not a chain. It is a key. It brings you back to the room where my peace reigns and your story finds its way again. I show you a practical path for today. Organize your heart before your schedule. Choose a small act of obedience. Close a draining gap. Make space for the new I've given you. Small acts of faithfulness move great mountains when repeated at my rhythm. Do not despise the simple. A request for forgiveness, a necessary conversation, a healthy boundary, a routine of silence before me. I multiply the impact of what is born from truth and humility. When doubt visits with scenes of loss, respond by remembering my care. Recall the milestones, the doors I opened, the provisions that arrived, the words that gave you security. Testimony is not nostalgia. It is fuel for faith. It reminds you I remain when everything changes. And when it seems nothing is happening, remember the seed works underground, and time is my ally, not your enemy. I mature the fruit without losing sight of you. Banish comparisons that weaken your confidence. Another person's path is another field and another season. Yours is the place where I walk with you. Keep your eyes on what I asked of you. not on what is expected of you. I sustain your breath so you can do what is yours to do. And I free you from the obligation to meet expectations. The freedom I give is to love, serve, and grow in truth, not to prove your worth. I already gave you worth when I called you mine. If you fall along the way, rise with the help of my grace. Mistakes do not end your story. They teach you where to place your feet. I do not discard you for your failures. I discipline you with tenderness so you may mature, learn quickly, return to your center, and move forward. Perfectionism paralyzes. It mourns missed postures. I celebrate your sincere step more than a flawless plan that never leaves the drawing board. I inspire your courage now. Fear loses strength as my presence grows in you. Doubt loses its place. As my word finds voice in your mouth, make space for me to guide you through the day. I will lead you into the new. I will soothe the painful memories. I will align your agenda with what builds. Stay sustained by my voice. Today is the day to move forward without fanfare, with peace that governs and truth that lights your path. Right with faith. Today I move forward with gentle courage. Today I invite you to turn conviction into action. What is sown in you? Your spirit demands a visible response to remind you. On windy days, who speaks to you and where you're going? Your sign of agreement is not a spectacle. It is humility turned into memory. Fix in the tangible what is born from the invisible, and restore focus when emotions falter. Decide with me that your faith will not remain mere thoughts, but will touch your daily life as a simple, conscious seal. A sign does not buy me favors. It organizes your inner being. It aligns you with what I've spoken when other voices try to negotiate your attention. When fatigue pushes you to rush decisions, your sign will serve as a quiet reminder that my peace still reigns. When insecurity suggests retreat, your sign will tell your heart that commitment remains. The symbol is small, the meaning is vast, and the meaning is the covenant I keep with you. I want you to choose a clear and practical gesture. It could be a brief pause before responding, a deep breath that summons my presence, a gesture of gratitude at the end of the day, a touch of your hand to your chest to remind you that my voice speaks to you. The gesture is yours. The grace is mine. The gesture is simple. I multiply faithfulness. Small stones of memory build a path. Walk on them when the fog tries to hide the way. Not every conviction matures without discipline. Your sign educates your affections to serve purpose, not impulse. It helps you say no to empty shine and yes to what bears fruit. It generates serenity because it distances you from a fragile image of yourself and anchors you in me. The sign reminds you who named you, who sent you, who sustains your step. And when victory comes, it will remind you that the source is still the giver, not the performance. Fear may try to ridicule the small, but I honor what springs from the whole heart. A world distracted by noise may see little value in silent signs. I, on the other hand, cultivate your constancy with gestures that need no applause to be true. Constancy is the home where fruit grows without haste. The sign is the discreet hinge of the door that opens and closes at the right rhythm. If you wonder why you repeat a gesture daily, remember that love learns habits. Love repeats because it values, insists because it knows what it wants, simplifies because it understands what matters. Repeating with meaning is not mechanical. It is devotional. It is your yes spoken with tenderness. It is your mind learning to return home without violence. It is your body becoming a witness to what we believe together. Your memory needs clear reminders to overcome these difficult days. Your sign will be one of those reminders. It will point you to the promise when old promises feel distant. It will remind you of my presence when noise tries to fill all the space. It will align your mouth with what your heart already knows, so your words do not betray what your spirit recognizes. This is how inner unity is built. And inner unity projects outward. When you stumble, do not abandon. The sign was not made for perfect moments, but for real days. Use it to gently return to the path. I do not ask you to rush. I ask you to return. The maturity I form in you does not come from heroic leaps, but from wholehearted steps. And wholehearted steps are taken by hearts that know how to return to center without drama. With hope, now I invite you to respond. Not to impress me, but to train yourself in the kind of faithfulness that sets you free. What I have begun in you continues when you say yes in concrete ways. The concrete is your schedule, your boundaries, your decisions, your way of speaking, your way of serving. Choose a gesture and consecrate it to me. I will receive it as a daily covenant, and through it, I will teach you to recognize my peace at the crossroads. I will guide you along safe paths. You will see that the gesture reminds you of your origin and your destiny. Each time a detour seems tempting, you will see that the gesture steadies your gaze and calms your hands. You will see that, over time, your mere presence becomes a sign of hope in the places you visit. And when those around you ask the reason for your serenity, you will know it comes from a living covenant practiced in the details that protect what matters most. Receive my counsel. Embrace my care. Confirm your path. When your heart confirms that I have spoken, respond with clarity. When your mind tries to complicate things, let the simplicity of the gesture guide you. What matters is that your yes finds my grace, so that what is a seed today becomes a tree tomorrow. The sign does not bind you to guilt. It binds you to hope. The sign does not bind. It guides. The sign does not weigh. It sustains. Click like if this word confirms you. I walk before and behind you. I transform what you decide now into a clear path.